Salutations, and welcome to the 2022 BBFA World Cup preview. In a few days, we'll be flying over to India to kick off the most anticipated tournament of the year. We're here to bring the details on what to expect in the coming weeks. My name is Snicky McAllister, and over there, totally not a random guy from the street, is Piero Schwartz. Thank you for the introduction, Snicky. Anyways, let's get down to business. Okay. So on the 30th of June, the group stage draw was held. Here were the results. Quite an interesting arrangement of teams we got there. Alright, here's a deeper look at the group stage. Oh, side note, it should also be noted that not all teams have announced a new coach for the tournament, and it may or may not affect the accuracy of our predictions. Anyways, here we go. Alright, first up we got Scotland. Here's our first fresh squad, captained by Frost Henderson of North Rassishill. Scotland will show up with the following squad: Frost, Helena Morales, and their sibling, Helena Morales II, Gia, Blitz, and Oscar II. Alright, so first we gotta note Frost this season, since he's been a player for North Rassishill for quite some time now. So recently he's come off a highly mediocre season and has scored only 1 goal and only 3 appearances for North Rassishill. No assists either. We're kind of wondering if he'll even be able to return to form and lead a national team. Well, on the upside, we have the debut of tons of fresh talent. Who knows, they might come to the TYCL someday. Oh, who knows. Next, we got Belgium, a returning team. Back in 2018, they did manage to top their group, but were knocked out by Mexico 3-2 in the quarterfinals. Here's the breakdown. Belgium will be playing their opening match of Group A against Switzerland, captained by Grim. Death itself. Here's the squad for their showing. We got Grim, Frights, Midnight, Waddles, Bloom, and Pippi. If there's one thing to note, is that pretty much every team has been rebuilt and redeveloped. Well, yeah, time has passed. Anyways, points of interest, Waddles, Bloom, and Pippi arrive as the latest additions to the squad. As for Waddles, he comes off decent performances with North Rassishill, despite eventually placing poorly in the table. 6 goals and 6 appearances. This winger could be pretty deadly under the leadership of Grim. We still got the veteran players here. We got Grim, Frights, Midnight. They've always been consistent players, but they've never had any major success. I say this could be their year. Alright, next we got Switzerland, another returning team. Back in 2018, they finished second in their group, but had an unfortunate experience against England in the quarterfinals. I'm sure we all remember how that went. Jesus Christ, 9-4, what happened? Anyways, here's a breakdown. A potential dark horse of the tournament, we say. Switzerland are led by Mist with the following squad. Alright, there's Mist, Elena, Swoops, Harmony, Fudge, and Enchanted. Well, I have no doubt in mind that they're looking to get revenge against England. Sure. They're on the complete opposite side of the table. It's pretty unlikely to happen unless they both make it to the final. I can see it happening. We got a fully fledged out squad now. Oh, we got more players making their debut too. Looking forward to seeing them. Alright, next up we got Argentina, who's also coming back from 2018. Back in that last tournament, they placed second in their group but lost to Spain 4-2 in the quarterfinals. Well, I say, definitely a favorite to make a deep run in the tournament. The Argentine side will see the return of Rebelde, captaining the following squad. Alright, we got Rebelde, Beaks, Magic II, Yoo-Hoo II, Linus, and Slippers. Another fresh and youthful squad. We have the debut of Linus and Slippers. I'm sure they're looking to make a strong start in the footballing scene. Not to mention we got a return of our TYCL players Beaks and Yoo-Hoo II. They're both coming off a strong season with FC Slabatel, who pretty much nearly won the league. They lost it all to Duke on goal difference. Hugo the second is the second choice goalkeeper for Slavatel. He has not had much playtime, but in his actual showings, he has performed well. Now Beeks, the left back for Slavatel, has also had good showings. He's bagged 3 assists and 2 goals, 7 appearances, while holding a solid back line. We pretty much expect a fast-paced attack and an extremely well-rounded defense from these folks. Alright, now, what's our prediction, you may wonder. Alright, so this is gonna be tough. I mean, football logic is not always truth, but we will try to do our best. Well, here's how I see things lining up. So first place of the group, we got Belgium, no doubt. These guys are so consistent, and I can't see them going down this early. Second, Argentina. Their squad is just too good. No. I'm sorry, Switzerland, but I don't know. I'm starting to doubt, but we'll see. Please prove me wrong. And then last place, we're going to put Scotland. We don't see them doing much, really. Against these powerhouses of teams, they'll probably be out way sooner than they think. Alright, we're now moving into Group B. Our first team is the Netherlands. What do you have to say, Snicky? Alright, the Netherlands, they're making their debut this tournament. They're captained by the BB news anchor, Butt. Here is their squad. Alright, we got Butt, Gatsby, Dixie, Mandy, Quinn, and Squeaker. We're not too sure of what to expect from the Dutch, but we can see some pretty strong performances coming from them. As for the points of interest, we have another completely new squad. Goodness gracious, the absolute units that are Mandy and Gatsby. These two will 100% give the Dutch an aerial advantage. To be honest, they're all pretty tall. They'll definitely be quick and hard to break defensively, so watch out. Alright, the Irish are here. They're making their debut in the World Cup. Their captain for the tournament will be Muffin. Alright, so their team lines up as follows. Muffin, Witchy, Owen, Lola, Grinner, and Redafat Fukar. What a peculiar name. They also got their coach, which has been announced to be Michael Myers. Goodness gracious, what a selection they've made. Anyways, looks like it's the footballing debut for Lola and Owen, who have not yet made an appearance in the TYCL. Likely also the debut of Grinner, Witchy, and Ritter for Ireland. I wonder what killer tactics Michael Myers has up his sleeve. Regardless, I reckon Muffin can also put these lads and lasses together. Here's Ireland's first obstacle of the tournament, Ukraine, another debuting team. This squad will be captained by Ollie Fry of North Rassishill. Their squad lines up with Ollie, Darla, Neptune II, Pixie, Brutus II, and Precious II. Great to see these fellows making their first appearance at a major tournament though. Alright, so here's some points of interest. New players will be Pixie, Brutus II, and Precious II. Again, this is their chance to make a name for themselves. A lot of major football clubs will be watching. With the up-and-coming expansion of the TYCL, clubs will be desperate to find the most potent players. And also, we have Neptune of Shonakep SC. This defender is looking to take Ukraine farther after coming short with Shonakep. The team ended up finishing 4th on the table last season, so to say the least, his form could be anywhere right now. 2 goals and 6 appearances is pretty decent for a right back, I suppose. Now another player to be mentioned is Darla. She's mostly a supplemental player with Dynamic KC, but she will be the core of Ukraine's attack this tournament. It's truly a shame that she didn't get many games last season, but every time she did come on, Darla has been a difference maker. Definitely underrated in my eyes. Now here's the captain, Ollie. Defender of North Rassishill becomes a captain. Finally, Ollie will have to work alongside Neptune to hold solid defense. As for her season, she's become more of a playmaker and a defensive midfielder sort of role. It hasn't really worked out well for us still, but who knows what could happen here. Alright, last up in Group B we got Mexico. Runners up in 2018, who heartbreakingly lost it all on penalties. Here's their squad for this tournament: Ochoa, Pablo, Penelope Monera, Cancun Rojas, Babs, and Lala. And we also got Tweet returning as the manager for Mexico. He's always been consistent with them, and Mexico's run in 2018 is absolute proof of that. Alright, their first match is looking incredibly spicy. They'll be going up against an unfamiliar Netherlands squad. Without a doubt, they're looking to bring it back. Anyways, we gotta talk about Nacho, Pablo, and Pimanera. They're back with a vengeance. Now for Pablo, could we talk about how insane this lad was in 2018? This guy scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final. Not sure of how he's doing right now, but he could definitely be a monster with this squad. Hopefully that penalty miss doesn't come back to haunt him or anything. Oh come on, he took a good penalty. It was just a total masterclass from Gooley that night. Well, come to think of it, 5-5 is an insane scoreline. Where was the defense that match? Anyways, we got Penelope Monera. Penelope isn't a regular for the TYCL, but she has definitely showed up for the national team. Monera will play a key part in the midfield for this Mexican side, and with the finishing caliber of Pablo, these two are a deadly duo that the other teams in this group should be worried about. Oh, and lastly, we got Nachoa. The underappreciated hero of this national team will continue to hold the fort. Named second best goalkeeper last tournament. God, football truly is a cruel sport. He has been named captain, and Ochoa will be the leader of this national team. His previous caps do make him experienced, but will it be enough? Oh, we also got the debutants. We got Cancun Rojas, Babs, and Lala. Rojas is a new representative to be feared. She's coming off an absolute phenomenal season with Rio Dukersburg and is in top form right now. A constant finisher and playmaker that will fill in the gaps on the left side of the midfield. We also got Babs and Lala, who are making their debut for the national team. Well, we're still not sure what role manager Tweet will assign them to. We aren't too familiar with their current playstyle, but having a fresh team is good in this sort of tournament. Alright, how do we see this group shaping out? We can certainly see Mexico topping this group, but we can't take all the other teams out of the equation. Alright, here's my shot at it. I think first place will be Mexico. There's no chance they won't top this. Come on. Anyways, for second, we're gonna go for the Netherlands. Gonna be tough showing. Netherlands, alright. And for third and fourth, we're gonna go Ukraine and Ireland. I feel like Ukraine will just barely get out of the group, but Netherlands will keep them out of it. We'll see. And I feel like Ireland are gonna give teams trouble, but they'll get unlucky. It doesn't sound too characteristic of them. Alright, let's move into our next group. Group C. First team up will be Germany, another returning team. Back in 2018, they did top their group, but they lost to Switzerland 3-2 in the round of 16. Oh crap, here comes the doctor. Brutus will lead this iteration of Die Mannschaft. Their squad will line up with Brutus, Whiskers, Spirit, Scrappy, Flora, and Jekyll Hyde. Einstein himself has been announced as the manager for this tournament. Good grief, who knows how ingenious his tactical decisions will be. Could make the difference for the Germans. As for our points of interest, we got Brutus, Flora, and Whiskers coming back to represent once more. Whiskers, who lifted the trophy with Russia, will be taking on a new challenge with the German side. And then we got Scrappy, Spirit, and Hyde coming on as the new additions. Next up, we got Serbia returning. Back in 2018, they lost to Mexico 1-0 in the round of 16. Now we have Serbia captained. Okay. Serbia will be captained by the well-known Slush. Their team will have him, Glamorous, Grapes, Diamond, Bamboo, and Mandy. Just by looking at this roster, I feel like they will have exceptional chemistry. Slush will likely be the centerpiece of this team. He has to pull them together well. Don't count out the rest of the players though. I believe this is the first time we'll be seeing Bamboo, Mandy, and Diamond on the pitch. Alright, now we got Spain also returning. Back in 2018, they finished second in their group, but lost to Mexico 4-2 in the semis. And then they went on to lose the third place match to England. So they finished fourth place last tournament. Alright. Tasha Cunnin brings back a totally reformed squad. They will have Tasha, Tala, Oki, Noodles, Snooky, and Meadows. Good God. This squad is likely going to be an overlooked powerhouse. Tasha is in fact the only returning player. Everyone else here is totally fresh. The player we do happen to have insight on is Tala, the latest signing over at Peplo CF. She has been a consistent starter for the squad, but has not really done anything for the team since her signing. We're hoping that she can rewrite this narrative. Now, here's a issue that I could see arising. All of this fresh talent could make them incredibly dangerous, but you have to wonder if a potential lack of experience will come back to haunt any of these brand new teams. Who knows? But will they be able to top 4th place? It's totally possible. Welcome back to the TYCL Takedown. We had a bit of a pause recently because of the incredible FIFA World Cup final, which brought all of us extreme stress, joy, and just pure emotion. But congrats to Argentina for lifting the trophy after 30-something years. We hope that their BBFA squad can replicate that feat. Now, let's get back into our groups. So yesterday we were looking at Group C. We were on our final team, which is Croatia. They're coming back from the previous tournament. Back in 2018, they unfortunately crashed out of the group stage, managing to finish 4th. Alright, let's take a look at the squad. They got Safari, Tabitha, Pinecomb, Kipper, Lollipop, and Smooches. I mean, what can I say? That 2018 performance was not ideal, abysmal, literally. I mean, there's no way the squad can perform any worse than this. There's only one way to go from rock bottom, and we wonder what Croatia will be able to bring to the table. Their captain, Safari, will likely be the heart of the Croatian team's midfield. He's not only a key playmaker, but an incredible goal scorer. As for his TYCL season, he's had the second most goals scored last season. He's gotten 7 goals in 7 appearances. We could say that Shatrov is in impeccable form right now and has been absolutely carrying material. If I were competing against him, I'd be weary of him, you know? I mean, despite his efforts, he only managed to finish 6th on the table with Materi. Who knows? Goodness. It's just too unpredictable, you know? I mean, on to our next player, we got Tabitha Radakovic. And my oh my, we were kind of amazed that she was even called up for the squad. Because as for her season, she's had a horrendous season with Peplo. In all of Radakovic's appearances, she has not scored nor assisted at all. Peplo finished dead last in the table. Pretty unfortunate. However, it should be brought up that Peplo barely conceded at all last season. I guess they just got unlucky, you know? We shouldn't be so hard on them. I mean, did you forget that they didn't win a single game? I don't know, man. Well, little funny bit of trivia is that the keeper of the season is actually Peplo's fluffy Mick Comiskey, who made an absolutely insane 29 saves. I can't believe I'm reading that. 29 saves in only 7 appearances. I mean, unfortunately for her country, Finland, would not qualify for the World Cup. What? Where on earth were Peplo's defensive players? Gosh. And lastly, we got Pinecone Livakov, Keeper Kalic, Smuchez, and Lolipos. These will be the folks to complete the Croatian squad. As for the keeper, it's been announced to be Pinecone Livakov. Hopefully he can get them out of the group stage at least. Now you may wonder, what is our prediction for Group C? Alright, based on careful analysis. Yeah, right, careful. What? Just let me do my thing. Alright. We are predicting Spain to top the group, with Germany just barely edging out Croatia, finishing second. Croatia finishes third with Serbia fourth. But this is sort of a group of death, so we will probably be wrong. We'll see. Alright, next up, we got Brazil. Also returning back in 2018, they had another... What? Do you want to know what happened to Brazil in 2018? They lost. Ronaldinho, success! They lost every game in the group stage, finishing fourth. Totally crashed out. I don't know what happened with Brazil back then, but let's see what they got now. I'd say now they're a favorite to win the whole thing. Green Bay Shrek's Brazil is here. They have Dill, Danglers, Sully, Patches, Laney, and Oscar. Interesting choice for a manager, I suppose. Don't really know what affiliation he may have with Brazil, but we're curious to see how he'll organize his team. Maybe he'll take inspiration from American football? I don't know. Well, at least you got Dill. He's back as the captain. I mean, what do you want in a captain? This guy is literally perfect. He is the definition of confidence, and he will make the perfect leader for this squad over the course of this tournament. And I'd say he's one of the more flashier players too. Juego bonito, you know. Now let's talk about the TYCL players. So we got Oscar coming back from total irrelevance. He's coming off a winning season with Dukasburn as well. He's been a great assistant lately, within the top 5 last season. This right midfielder will probably perform well. Now Dangler, Sully, Patches, and Laney will have their first World Cup. We have an okay balance of experience and youth so far. I think Brazil will do well. Alright, next up, we got South Korea. Whoa. It's another one of those teams who did terrible in 2018. But they're back, at least. And here's their squad. We got Yuhu, Kiki, Suga, Izzy, Pammy, and Lemon Drop. Well, again, really rough showing in 2018, but they've pretty much got nothing to lose now. We're expecting some potential upsets being caused by this squad. Now, as for the players, we got Yuhu, the captain. He hasn't had the most interesting season lately. An assist and a goal in 7 games, this Korean side is going to need much more from that center midfielder. And the same goes for Suga, who has had an okay season with Shonoke, but hasn't really done much for the striker position. Now Kiki, Pammy, Lemon Drop, will arrive at their first international tournament. Their performance will make the difference in whether or not South Korea repeat their 2018 run. Oh man. Next up we got Sweden. Back in 2018, they were eliminated in the group stage, only finishing third. Almost read that wrong. Alright, so now we are a bit familiar with some of the players on this team. I mean, knowing Isaac, he's probably been training non-stop for this very moment. Here it is, the Swedish national team. Already they got Isaac, Megalomaniac, Bella II, Beastie, Icy, and Zachary. I think the hurt from getting grouped has reshaped this team. They do have a full squad behind them now. They can work with this. Now let's talk about Isaac. Isaac, the captain and winger at North Rassisel. Let's see. Again, it hasn't been the greatest season for Rassisel, but as for Isaac, he's made a decent amount of contributions. 4 goals in his 7 appearances this season. The guy is incredibly aggressive when it comes to competition. His passionate character might motivate the rest of the team more than they already are. But hey, there's a low chance of this happening now, but hopefully his emotions don't get the best of him. Though there have been incidents previously. I think drama is the last thing any coherent squad needs right now. And the rest of the team, Bella, Beastie, Megalo, and Zachary, we haven't seen any of them play yet, but we're excited to see how they do. Next up, we got Norway, another debuting team. Please excuse me, sorry. Here's a team we haven't seen in a while. I mean, Norway here are being captained by Scream, and here's their team, consisting of Scream, Cookie the second, Enchanted the second, Glitch, Fairbanks, and Alpine. The squad are one to look out for, no doubt. They have lots of variety within. Hilariously, they may even have some sort of a home advantage. Interestingly, their manager has been announced to be Moonlight Ettenberg of FC Talkenley. Well, this is a pretty good way to continue to be involved in the world stage when you don't even qualify. Not too confident in Edberg's coaching abilities though, purely based on Talkenley's performance last season. Let's talk about Scream and Cookie of the TYCL. Scream may not have been the best choice for captain, to be honest. This player has had a bad season too. Talkenley have been all over the place this year. They went from champions to nearly being relegated. Hopefully Scream has what it takes and gets himself together before it's too late. As for Cookie, he had an alright season with Shonaka. He sort of cooled down after his crazy 2017 season, but he's still been a great finisher, 5 goals, 7 games. If Norway manages to make it far, we can expect to see Cookie as a candidate for the boot. And lastly, we've got Enchanted the second, Glitch, Fairbanks, and Alpine. And all we can say about them is that the holidays are approaching. And for our prediction for this group, we're going to go with Brazil finishing first, Norway finishing second, Sweden finishing third, and South Korea finishing fourth. As for why, none of these teams are the same teams they were in 2018, so we believe Brazil actually have something in them to do it now. Now, for Norway, we believe that they're going to have that sort of debut luck, and they'll just narrowly edge out Sweden, who give them a lot of trouble likely. But we're confident in Norway. I don't know, just got a feeling. Gotta go with that, you know. And for South Korea, we feel like they may scrap at least one draw, but they might lose the rest of the matches. I don't know. We'll see.